This lesson, we're going to discuss personality theories, focusing specifically on Erik Erikson's theory. So what has made you the person that you are today? Have a go at jotting down the main things that have contributed to your personality. You may have listed people that have influenced you, childhood experiences, or believe that genetics plays a role. You can see how personality theories can also link closely back to the nature-nurture debate that we've previously discussed. Is it your personality a product of your genetics or a product of our environment? Just as our ability to connect and make attachments with others is influenced from those around us and early life experiences, it is also thought to have a significant impact into our personalities. Erik Erikson is a prominent psychologist who's researched the effects of society and culture on personality and development of one's identity. His interest in the area was actually sparked largely by his own personal experiences. Erikson was a Jewish boy born in Germany in 1902. In grammar school, he was heavily teased for being Jewish, and at Temple was often teased for his blonde hair and blue eyes. At an early age, Erikson did not feel comfortable as a German or as a Jew, feeling he did not fit in with either culture. This feeling was the basis for his notion of an identity crisis, which Erikson later defined when he became a psychologist. Erikson believed that our personality is largely influenced by our social development and occurs as a result of our life experiences, in particular our social interaction with others, as well as the effects of the inward psychological processes, hence coining the term psycho-social development. Erikson suggests that we each face a specific psychosocial dilemma or crisis at each stage of our lives. It is how we deal with these dilemmas that shape our personality and future interactions. If we're unable to resolve these dilemmas, it does not necessarily mean that we will not be able to progress to the next stage. Rather, that it may have some sort of negative effect on an individual's personality and their ability to adjust socially. Erikson believed that age in which individuals may face each stage may vary, but the order in which an individual moves through the stages is fixed. There are 8 stages in total, with Erikson's theory. Erikson puts ages that are ideal with someone should be dealing with each stage. Now let's have a look at each of the 8 stages. Click on each of the stages to investigate further. Stage 1. Trust versus mistrust. 0 to 12 to 18 months. Erikson proposed that an infant must develop a healthy understanding of trust. The idea the world is a safe and predictable place. That is, if they are hurt, they will be comforted, and equally, if they misbehave, they will receive an appropriate consequence. A healthy amount of trust also involves being wary where appropriate. E.g., a healthy amount of trust would still be saying no to a stranger that says they're going to pick them up from school. A child brought up with stability is able to anticipate reactions, developing as a trusting person, thinking that others are dependable and reliable. If a child is unsure of how those around them are going to react or do not feel that they can trust those around them to protect and comfort them in times of need, it may result in a child developing mistrust, which may result in them being suspicious, anxious, or fearful of those around them. Stage 2. Autonomy versus shame or doubt. 18 months to 3 years old. Stage 2 involves conflict between autonomy and shame or doubt. Autonomy refers to the ability to do things independently. It prompts self-confidence, resilience, and self-esteem. If someone is too dependent on others and doesn't trust their own instincts, this can lead to a lack of self-confidence and feelings of shame or doubt about the ability to do things for themselves. Again, this is a balance. A child should be aware of what is not safe to do by themselves, and that is not necessarily a bad thing. Erikson believed it is an important part of a child's development, with some guidance to let them do things for themselves, e.g., feed themselves, dress themselves, or brush their teeth. This builds a sense of, I can do this. Stage 2 builds on from Stage 1, trust. If a child feels secure, they are more likely to feel safe to explore the world. Stage 3, initiative versus guilt. Stage 3, children move beyond the simple tasks and begin to take initiative, plan and carry out their own tasks, investigating the world as we know it. Parents again have a large influence in the resolution of this stage. They can encourage children or criticise. Of course, there is not always extreme of a good and a bad parent. It may be somewhere in between, such as getting irritated at a child asking so many questions, as they try to understand the world, possibly resulting in them feeling like they are a nuisance or guilt. If you have a younger brother or sister or a cousin, one can understand how it can get a little irritating. But the ability to question what we know around us leads to learning. It increases our self-esteem, and it gives us the ability to take initiative. Stage 4. Industry versus inferiority, 5 years to 12 years old. Children at this age become interested in how things work and are made. They want to become hands-on, often building and producing. Again, if encouraged, they feel a sense of pride. And if they feel that their work is inadequate, then they feel inferior. Children are also able to make their own comparable judgments of their worth from those around them, in particular their peers. How they judge their achievements compared to their friends and classmates can have a significant impact on their self-worth. There's been a lot of research, time and money into developmental play, and I'm sure you can see why. Often kindergartens and schools have put time and thought into activities that provide the opportunity for children to work safely through each of the stages. E.g., a kindergarten, you may see a pretend kitchen. This gives children an opportunity to take lead in everyday activities they may have seen at home, even if it is pretend. Stage 5. Identity versus identity confusion, 12 years to 18 years. During this stage, adolescents develop a sense of their identity and start to ask the big questions of who am I, where am I going, what kind of person do I really want to be? At this stage, teenagers will begin to identify with many roles, e.g., I'm a daughter, I'm a friend, a musician, or a hockey player, etc. It goes on. Now, can you think of some roles you identify with? Forming part of your identity may be influenced by many things, for example, religion, family, friends, or the media. And all of the other stages play a part in our ability to sense who we are. They help to give us confidence in where we're going, and if you feel wary, shameful of your ability, of course it's going to affect how you see yourself. If a teenager is unsure of who they are, they may display role confusion, which can see them also gripping onto negative identities and displaying rebellious behaviour while they find their place in the world. But it is not all doom and gloom if a teenager does not know who they are by the age of 18. Whilst it is often a time of discovery, even in later years of adulthood, we still question who we are and our role we play in the world. Stage 6. Intimacy versus isolation, 18 to 25 years old. Once a person has a strong sense of identity and knows who they are, they might seek to share this with someone else. Someone seeks to connect and commit to someone seeks intimacy, whereas someone who avoids commitment may find themselves in isolation. Intimacy may not just be romantic relationships, but can include relationships in a broader sense, such as housemates or close friendships. Like each of the stages, the development of intimacy does not stop after 25 years old. It is just that this is the key stage in which Erikson believes that the psychosocial crisis presents itself. Stage 7. Generativity versus stagnation, ages 25 to 65 years old. Covering 40 years, Stage 7 covers the largest age range. Generativity is all about caring about those beyond your immediate self and life, helping others and making minimal negative impact and maximum positive impact on future generations. Erikson believed if too much concern with just oneself, that it can lead to a lack of personal self and prohibits feelings of pride, self-worth that comes from helping others. This could lead to stagnation. Generativity can be achieved by being active in the community. employed, or teaching through being a parent, grandparent, or actively caring about the environment. For example, part of my sense of generativity personally becomes from being a teacher and Year 12 coordinator, through giving advice to students and hopefully helping them through their VCE. When asked the words that I identify, teacher is one that first comes to mind. How we help others can have a strong impact on our identity. Stage 8, integrity versus despair, 65 years and older. This is a last stage where a person's life is nearing completion, and the question may have been asked, have I lived a full life? Integrity identifies with a sense of pride, good memories, and feelings like you've contributed to the world. This does not mean a person has lived a picture-perfect life. More, they have weighed up the good and the bad, and the scales are more heavily weighed on the good. Despair occurs when the conclusion is the scales are balanced the other way and are full of mistakes and lost opportunities. Some criticism of Erikson's theory is that they are rather vague and there is no concrete way to determine if someone has passed or failed each stage. However, still to this day, many psychologists still draw on Erikson's work.